Good morning. Thanks for joining me today. We are actually going to do a routine today for rest and renewal, and I hope you will join me. This is a Be Gentle routine. With everything going on in the country right now, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, some depression, I just want to remind you of Matthew 11:28 and 29. Come to me, all you who are weary, and I will give you rest for your souls. Take your yoke upon me and learn from me, for I am humble and gentle in heart. You will find rest for your weary souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Just remembering the words of Jesus this morning as we begin this gentle routine. So take a few moments, kick your shoes off. If you're at home on the carpet or have a mat, that's fine. I have some nice scented candles here just to keep things calm and remembering that ultimately our rest comes from the Lord. Let's take a few moments here and just get some nice deep breaths. So sit nice and firm on each sit bone here, rolling the shoulders back, and we're going to take some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth as we roll those shoulders back and down. Good. And just have a real quiet sense of purposeful rest today in these moments. And we'll bring the shoulders up toward the ears and back down. Good. All right, let's go ahead and bring one ear to the shoulder. My hips are relaxed. If this isn't available to you, it doesn't feel good, you can also bring your legs out in the front like this. That's just fine. Take a breath in and out. Good, and we'll just do one more where we'll have a nice breath in, and we'll drop our chin to our chest. And just looking up over the heels, we're not hyperextending back, we're keeping a nice tight neck, the core is tight, and we're just really kind of opening up that chest area, hands together, and open up that chest as you just gently lift the chin and breathe. Good, a few more breaths. I am at church right now and I hear hundreds of cicadas outside. It's a beautiful sound, very calming and relaxing. Bit of an overcast day. And breathe out. And how about just one more? Just kind of lifting those arms up in the back, opening that chest. Chest is open, and we'll just gently open the hands in the back. So I've got them kind of clasped together here. Open. And come back down. Good. Let's just go side to side, gently opening up all of the joints. Take a breath in. Just engage here a little bit as you go side to side. So we don't want to forget to breathe here, taking nice big breaths into the nose and out through the mouth as we gently move through each position here using our breath. Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest for your weary souls. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble. Rest your weary souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. How often we want a light burden, and the Lord says, open our hands, give him that burden. And let's just do one more time, gently flowing, using the breath to lengthen movement. Good. Very good. All right. So again, if your legs are crossed, that's fine. You can also bring them out to the front. We're just going to do some gentle twists to the side. Core is engaged nice and tall. We don't want any spinal compression here as we gently turn to the side. We're not going to hold it real long. We'll do a little more stretching at the end. But let's keep that neck in a nice lengthened position here as we gently turn side to side, opening up the back, the spine, the hips. Should feel good. The core's engaged, the side body. Couple nice deep breaths in. So just breathing and linking the movement. Good. All right, now we're going to bring the feet out into the front. And let's go ahead and hinge down over. Just kind of with the legs bent, the knees bent. We're just going to reach forward. You can see my beautiful candles here. I love the light of candles. Move them out a bit so you can see them. They just kind of illuminate the space here, and it just feels calming. If you have some at home, go ahead and grab them. Good, and let's go ahead and take a nice breath in, reaching up, touching those thumbs. And go ahead and straighten your legs down now. And coming down into a nice forward fold, knees bent. And breathing. Let's do that 2 more times. So if I could say anything here, just make it feel good. This is all about rest and renewal. Not striving, just resting and moving through each position with your breath. And let's just do 1 more. Core's engaged, reaching up nice and long, fingertips together. Point those toes, really activate those legs, those quads. Come on back down now. Reaching the hands along, sliding them along the mat as you come down into a forward fold. Good. All right, let's bring one arm over. Just kind of have a nice little stretch here. We're going to come to our hands and knees in just a moment. But let's just warm up those shoulders a little bit. 1 more time each side. I'm going to go ahead and turn my head here. Why not? A little stretch of the neck. Good. Other side. And turn the other way. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and come to a hands and knees position. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to sit back and come into a rest position here. With hands coming forward, heads coming down, and we're just going to take a few breaths here. Breathing into the nose and out through the mouth. Into the nose, out through the mouth. And you'll feel the body moving against the legs as you breathe. So really open up that back. Fingers are relaxed. Breathe into the nose. Feel the body lifting away from the legs. Expanding the back and relaxing down with the breath. Let's just do that 1 more time. Into the nose. Opening up the back. And then relax. Good. All right, let's go ahead now. Come up to our hands and knees. As I said, I will kind of come to the side here for some of this so that you can see it from a side angle. We're going to just do some gentle back stretches here. So we're going to pull the navel in. Okay, and then we're going to look down at those knees. And then we're going to relax it back into a neutral spine. So the belly is not hanging out here. It's pulled in nice and tight. Take a breath in. We're going to round that back again. Lifting up the back to the sky. And breathe out as you come back down. Really letting that tailbone lengthen as you come back into this neutral position. Let's do that 2 more times. Take a nice breath in. Pulling that navel in and just really pulling it up and into the spine. Feeling that opening of the back. And breathing out. Good. Okay, let's just do that 1 more time. Hold it up at the top. And then let's go ahead and breathe out and let that belly fall back into a neutral position. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under. And I'm going to come up into like an upside down triangle here and just stretch the hamstrings in the back. If this is too much for you, you just stay on your hands and knees. It's totally fine. So we're going to lift the knees up just a few inches. And then if you can, we're going to open this position into a nice upside down triangle. And we're going to lift those hips. We're going to push those heels down. We're going to push those hands into the mat. Open the fingers. And go ahead and bicycle those heels down. Core's engaged here. A lot of length through the spine and the hamstrings. Good. Then we'll come back down. Nice. And let's go back into that nice rest position just for a moment here. Not forgetting to breathe as you just fall forward over those knees. Make it feel good. Coming to rest. And breathe. Good. All right, let's go ahead and come on up to a kneeling position. I will come to the front position here to show you. So you're going to come into, again, stacking the joints. Knees underneath the shoulders. Excuse me, knees underneath hips. Hands underneath shoulders. I'll show you from the side here. Okay, good. And we're just going to do what's called a short plank. We're going to do a little gentle strength here as we take a breath in. And we're going to lift those knees about a few inches and back down. Good. Strengthening the core and the upper body. Take a breath in. And breathe out as you lift the knees just a few inches. You're just kind of hovering on the toes and back down. Let's do 3 more of those. Taking a nice breath in and out as you lift the knees just gently about a few inches and back down. And 2 more. Take a breath in. If that's a lot for you, just lift one knee up. That's fine. If you can, try and bring up both knees. Take a breath in and try to breathe out when you're exerting that effort. So here we go. We're going to open it up and we're going to bring those knees up for 3, 2, and 1. And let's just do 1 more time. Breath comes in and breath out as you lift for 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. I'm going to come back to the middle here. We're just going to bring one foot up. I'm bringing my left foot up here into a position, into a high lunge. So go ahead and do that. I've got a nice soft mat underneath here that gives me a little more stability, so it's not on such a hard floor. But if you have a nice soft mat at home, that's perfect for this. Okay, so we're just going to have a gentle breath here, and we're going to just turn as we're here. You will notice today this routine is a lot more restful. It's also on the mat more. So I've got the camera in a little closer so that you can see what's happening on the mat. I'm going to bring one arm up overhead now, and the other arm comes up. We're just going to take a nice twisting motion to the side. Breath comes out, core's engaged, working that core and side body. Good. Let's come back to the front, and we're going to come into a little twisting motion here. Just turning, hands together in prayer. The back foot is just released. And hold it here. I'm going to gently press my palms in to work the chest a little bit. You don't have to do that. Good. Let's go ahead and push it back up. And we'll go to the other side. Take a nice quick breathing break here. And breathe it out. All right, bringing that right leg up. And getting into that lunge, you've got your knees stacked under your hip, your knees stacked over your foot. Good. So here we are, we're just going to take the hands overhead, and let's just take a nice gentle twist to the side, core's engaged. And if this is a lot for you and you want to bring your hands to the waist, that's just fine. Otherwise, you can just reach out, reaching away from the body, lengthening the fingers and hands. Breathing here. Just hold it here. Breathing. Good. Let's go ahead and come up here. And let's just do one more twist here to the side. Just take a nice breath. So hopefully this feels good. You're just releasing that back. And we'll just take a nice little twist to the side here. You can see I've got my arm over, and I'm going to just bring my hands into prayer and then gently press. Nice. Good. Good. Let's just come on back into a seated position. Got a little lower body strengthening there. And we're just going to come into a seated forward fold with feet out. I'm going to pull those toes back. I'm going to tuck my thumbs underneath my glutes, relaxing the shoulders back and down, so I'm not locking the elbows here. And I'm just going to gently drop my head, my chin to my chest to just have a nice neck stretch. And by pulling those toes back, you're activating the legs and strengthening the legs as well. This is a nice little workout for the low body as well. And breathe. Good. Let's go ahead and come on up. And we'll go into some seated twists here, and then we're going to get up onto our hands and knees to start into the gates series. All right, so we're going to take a nice breath in. One hand is going to come behind the back. You can see that. And the other hand is going to come onto the knee. You're just going to gently pull the navel in and turn to that side. If you don't want the hand in the back, that's totally fine. You can just release it down. Gives you an extra little stretch here in the back and the neck. Breathe in. Let's just turn it. The chin is parallel. Just breathing. Core will be engaged here. Relaxing the body. The hips are relaxed. Breathing. Good. Breathing nice and easy. Good. Coming back to the front. Let's cross the legs the other way. And we'll do the same thing. The hand comes behind. You can see I can almost put it this way if I want to. You don't have to do that. But just get a little stretch here, putting the arm behind the back so the hand is facing in toward the body. And then I'm just going to gently take my hand across the knees. Stay nice and tall in the sits bones. Lengthen that spine. We don't want to compress anything as we turn. And gently turn the body. Core's engaged here. And just breathe. Hopefully you're in a quiet space, but if you're not, just kind of tuning everything out and listening to that breath, meditating on that promise that He is our rest. Good. All right, let's go ahead and bring our feet together and hinging forward, just kind of fold down over those legs, bringing the hands together, crossing and reaching long, stretching that back, and breathing. So it's a nice kind of a release for the back. And then let's go ahead and come up on our hands and knees. All the way up. Okay, I'm going to come up on both knees, of course, and then I'm going to put one foot out to the side. All right, and I'll face you so you can see what I'm doing. And this is just called a gate series. It's a gate pose. We're going to take the arms out to the side, and I'm going to come down to one side, and I'm going to reach up with the other arm, and I'm also going to lift one leg up. You can leave the leg down if you want. You can also come down on the palm flat or on the fingers. I'm going to just lengthen everything away from the body. I'm going to hold this, strengthening the hips and the outer thighs and the core all the way up, the rectus abdominis, and just reach it long, getting a nice workout for that supporting arm. And then I'm going to grab, if you want to, we're going to bind that ankle and just stretch that quad. Good. Breathing here. Nice. And let's just go ahead and bring that down. Coming to that nice rest position just for a moment, and then we'll do the other side. Head comes down. Good. Go ahead and come on up. Other side. Knee comes out. And then the leg. And then we're just going to open everything up. And because it's kind of a layered position here, we're going to bring the body over if you want to then. Hand is down. And I'm going to start lifting the leg and the arm away from the body. Everything's reaching long, but I'm relaxed. My core's engaged all the way up. And I'm just breathing. Nice, easy breath. I'm going to come down in my hand now. You can come up on the fingers or on the palm is fine. And then I'm going to just gently bind my ankle and stretch that quad. Good. All right, let's go ahead and come to a seated position. All right, and we will do some stretches here. So bring the feet open. We're going to take the arms out to the side. We're going to sit up nice and tall in those sits bones. And I'm going to reach across. My other hand comes back behind the body. I'm going to reach across the body into that nice little twist and grab the outside of the foot. If you can't reach it, grab the ankle or the shin. It's just fine. But I'm going to try to hinge forward from the hips instead of the waist rounding, hinging forward and grabbing the outside of that foot. I'm going to just hold it there and breathe. Good. And go ahead and come up. At this point, we're going to just bring the feet forward a little bit and go into a nice reverse plank here for the back of the body, the posterior chain, the triceps. Bringing the palms flat, fingers face forward. Take a nice breath in, and we're just going to lift the body up, just kind of away from the mat. My head is just relaxed here. I'm looking straight at the camera. My arms are not locked. My elbows are not locked. And I'm going to come on back down. Good. And let's go to the other side. So I'm going to do the same thing. The thumb comes behind. I'm going to reach across. The core's engaged here, and I'm just going to hinge forward. So by hinging, I mean just in one straight line as opposed to just rounding to get there. We want to hinge and use those muscles to stretch the right muscles. So go ahead and come down and pull gently on that outer foot. And if that's a lot, bring it up a little bit higher onto the ankle or to the shin. That's totally fine. And breathe. Good. And let's go ahead and roll it up. We'll go into that reverse plank. I'll show you from the side this time. I think you probably understand it, but so we're going to just bring the hands behind. We're just going to lift the body up into the nice straight plank. So hips are up and engaged, core's engaged, glutes are engaged, and I have a nice soft elbow here. My head is just relaxed. I am looking forward, not back or to the side, and just hold this for about 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, I'll come back to the front and let's go ahead and do some more stretching here, some hamstring stretches here. So you've got one foot in. Take a nice breath and let's go ahead and float forward here. This should feel really good. We're pretty warm, so this is the time to do a little more stretch. Breathing. Relaxing the breath. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and come up. What we're going to do is bring the other arm behind. We're going to lift that body up. Everything comes away. Arms straight up overhead. Core's engaged. Stretching that side body and the core out and then coming back down. Good. Other side. So here we go. Take a nice breath in and we're going to forward fold. So it's okay if you can't get down really far. Just try to use that hinging concept to bring the body down. Breathing. Good. Let's go ahead and bring it on up. We're going to bring that arm behind. And we're going to just bring it behind the body. And everything comes up and reaches straight up to the sky. Stretching that arm long. And coming back down. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and bring our feet into a butterfly position here. Stretching the groin and inner thighs. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to kind of cross those wrists here and do a little deeper stretch since we're warm, and it'll just feel really nice to open up those inner thighs and the groin and the hip area here. So let's kind of keep that core engaged here as we gently pull up with the hands and push down with the knees, bringing the heels in toward the body as close as you can get it, and then pulling and pushing at the same time, getting a nice release. And breathe. A little bit like a tug of war here, but you're really giving an extra stretch here to those inner thighs and the groin area. Breathing. I'm going to close my eyes and just listen to the quiet and the stillness. And then we're going to go ahead and release that. Everything's relaxed. I'm going to gently fold forward. Again, not rounding if you can help that. Keep it into a nice position of a neutral, but strengthen and lengthen as you drop. Okay, and just gently press those knees open, down toward the floor. Just a gentle press is fine. Nice. All right, let's just roll it up. We're just going to do a little bit of gentle arm strengthening here as we're seated. I'm going to have you bring your hands together and use your fingertips. We're going to use them against each other, kind of like that tug of war. The pecs and the delts here. We're going to just gently pull the fingers away from the body, but keep them together. Relaxing the hips. So we're just going to pull gently. Not a whole lot of tension here, but enough that you're engaging the arms and the upper body. Gently pulling and relaxing at the same time. And breathing. Hips are nice and relaxed. Good. All right, let's bring that down. Let's go ahead and go into our bow and arrow. I love this for the upper body. So we're going to just pull the string back in that bow. Turn to the side. I'm going to turn and watch as I gently pull that string back so your arrow is in the end of that. You can't see it, my fingers are pushed forward. But I'm going to pull that string back as far as I can. And breathe, elbow is up. And then you're going to just release that bow. Other side, take a breath in. Same thing, we're going to pull back that bow. So the elbow is up. It's not holding this way, but it's pulling straight back if you would have something you're pulling back for the arrow to get balanced there, ready to fly off the end of that string. You're going to pull those fingertips back and then release that arrow. Let's do that one more time each side. You can feel the nice neutral position here, but you can also feel the strength and the length in this position. So pull it back, really pull it back. We're going to hold it just for a breath or two here and release it one more time. Back we go and open it and then pull it open and apart so that you've got a nice tight string there. Good. Nice. Good. Let's go ahead and relax and stretch those arms and bringing them up overhead so that you can have a nice little stretch there. Go ahead and bring the hands down with the breath, and we'll give ourselves a little hug here. Good. And then at this point, we're going to just go to the mat and lie down into a supine position to finish our last few things. So I'll go to the side so that you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so you're going to sit up nice and tall here. You're going to tuck the pelvis under as you gently roll back and go into a supine position, which is lying flat on your back. So go ahead and get down into that position. Take a few minutes here to let your back kind of rest flat against the mat. Okay, you're going to open your feet about hip width apart here. Palms down. We're going to take a nice breath in. I want you to just kind of bring your finger up toward your belly button here as you pull that belly button in toward the back of the mat. All the way through the back of the mat, just picture that, at least into the spine. And then we're going to just gently pick those hips up, pressing that back into the mat, lifting the hips into this nice bridge position, and just holding it here. So I've got a line from my knee to my hip bone all the way down to my shoulder. And I'm lifting, but not too far up like this, just in a nice neutral position here. Nice neutral line. And breathe. Now you can certainly kind of pull those shoulder blades back and get a little deeper stretch here. Point those fingers, clasp those fingers together. Don't have to do that. It's a nice little shoulder stretch. We're going to take a few moments here and breathe. Strengthening the whole lower body, but also it's a good stability position for the core and the back. Breathing. And let's go ahead and bring the hands up overhead and let's let them drop behind, thumbs down as you bring everything down. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and do our 4 square. For our hips, we're going to bring one leg over the other one. I'm going to reach gently through. And I'm just going to take some nice breaths here as I rock around and open up that hip. So you don't need a ton of work here. It'll kind of just, when you cross, it'll kind of do the work for you. If it doesn't feel like a good stretch, pull the leg in a little more. And I'm going to have you breathe gently and start relaxing the body into the mat. Good. One more nice big breath. Nice. Okay. Let's bring the knees into the chest. We're going to rock around. Let's bring the feet down and we'll do the other side. So you just cross that leg over, relax that foot onto the other thigh, kind of up by the knee. This might be enough stretch for you. You can gently press, or you can bring the hands through and gently bring it up into a little more of a stretch. So make it feel good for you. We're not stretching ligaments, joints, attachments. We're stretching muscle. So you just want to make it enough tension to stretch, but nothing that's painful. Breathe. Okay, let's go ahead and bring the legs up right overhead. I'm going to bend the knee, so we're taking the hamstrings out of the equation here. We're just going to kind of bend the knees. I'm going to grab around. I'm going to come up into a little bit of a core work, but also just a nice little stretch for the low back and upper back. You'll see it feels really nice. We're going to tuck the pelvis in. I'm going to reach up with my hands, and I'm just going to gently grab onto the back of my legs. My toes are pointed. They're not necessarily straight or locked, just kind of taking that hamstring out of the equation, which I said, and just allowing yourself that stretch, just rounding that back. Navel's just tucked in, and just hold it here and breathe. Yes, you have some core work going on, but you're also getting a nice relaxed stretch as you round and stretch that back. Let's bring it down, and we're just going to do that one more time. Rock around just for a minute here, back and forth. Good. Up you go with the feet. And that's why you don't have to have a lot of flexibility to do this. You're just basically lifting your feet up. So if you've got a bend here, that's totally fine. All right. We're going to take our hands around. We're going to pull the navel in. And I'm just going to gently hug my legs as close as I can that feels comfortable, that doesn't strain my neck. I'm going to keep my core engaged. So you can feel that my core is definitely working here, which is a nice kind of a position for both stretch and strength. Good. All right, let's bring the legs back into the body. Good. All right. So we'll take the knees into the chest, and then we're going to drop them to one side. I'm not going to come all the way down, and then I'm going to bring them back up. So take a breath in, drop them about halfway down, legs together. Take a breath out as you bring them back in toward the body. A little bit of oblique work, but also a nice release for the back. We'll drop the knees totally in just a moment here. Breath comes in, breath comes out as you drop them about halfway over. And bring them back using the core to pull it back in. Take a breath in, relax over. Breath comes out as you bring them back in. Let's just do one more set since you have that rhythm down there. Take a breath in, drop the knees halfway over. Breathe out as you bring them up, and just one more time. Over we go. Breathe out as you lift. Good. And now we will just bring the knees over to one side and we will drop them down, okay? We'll just drop them down to one side and allow yourself a nice stretch here in that side body. I'm turned toward my hand, toward the camera. If that's too much, you can keep your face toward the sky, it's fine. Nice stretch. I've got my hand kind of at the outside of my leg to give me an extra little pull. And I'm looking off my hand. Good. Let's bring it back in. And we'll just do the other side. So we're going to drop the legs to the other side. Okay, and I'm going to look off the hand in the back. Again, you don't have to do that. Got my hand on that leg to pull it down. Nice. Great. Okay, I'm going to come to a seated position. I want you to go ahead and lie down. So you don't need to get up from this position. I want you to just relax on your mat or onto your floor. And I'm going to pray a prayer for you and for the day. So I'd like you to first get into a position of rest so that everything's just kind of relaxed. You've got your feet together and then let them flop open. Your hips are relaxed and then just allow the legs to just relax. Your hands, your palms can come out to the side and just open the palms. So hopefully you're lying down and you've got your eyes closed and you're getting ready just for the last moment here of prayer and breathing. So go ahead and close your eyes and begin to take a few breaths into the nose and out the mouth. 2 more. Use that breath to come in through the nose, cleansing breath. Open up the chest and the side bodies. And then breathe out any stale air, any stress, any discouragement you have, any fear. Let's just get it out. Let's just breathe it out now. It's not necessary to hold on to it. One more time. Breathe in God's holy breath, that beautiful energy he gives us just for the asking. In through the nose. Chest is open. Out the mouth. Breathe out any dark place. Now close your eyes. Begin at the top of the body and just kind of gently think of relaxing each part of you, coming from the head all the way down to the throat and the chest and the stomach and the legs. Down to the ankles and to the feet, and those hands are open to the side, just open, and fingers are curled up nice and softly. And I'm just going to pray the verse we read at the beginning over us to end the session. Lord, you say, "Come to me, all you are heavy and weary, and I will give you rest for your weary souls." I pray that we would do that right now with everything going on in the world, the uncertainty, with just the last year and a half of everything, Lord, we just give it to you. And we know, God, that you are the rest for our weary souls. Lord, you say to take our yoke upon you because it is easy and light. Our yoke is heavy and burdensome. So we take off the heavy yoke today, the heavy fear we might have. Each fear that we all have different ones. We give to you in this moment. We open our hands of those things, and we give you those things that frighten us, that we don't know about, that we are afraid of the future, or maybe something in the past, or maybe just this moment feeling a lot of apprehension and fear about something. You say, God, to come to rest in you. And so we come to you, and we thank you that we have a gift of rest to unload our burdens to you. We ask this in your holy and beautiful name. We praise the splendor of your holiness. We are grateful to you, eternal King and love of our lives. In your name, amen. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you'll be back. Each month there will be a new one through the summer that will focus on rest and renewal. And certainly it's a time that we can use that, all of us, I think. Take care and have a beautiful and blessed day.